Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. It's the OCGFAM show. Welcome. It's Friday. We made it. It's very exciting. Got the weekend coming up, but we still got some good stuff. We're not done showing the show. Newton from SLF 100. We did an interview with him a little while back. It was a pretty amazing interview. We talked about growing up, about how he got into the business, the industry, stuff that's real important to him about natural food, living soil, that kind of thing. So watch that interview. It's really good. Really good. And then let me tell you what we got going next week a little bit. We got a lot going next week. John Ford from Ford's Fiery Foods is going to be here on probably Tuesday. Well, I don't know if you know about him. We've had him on the show before. He does exotic hot peppers, amazing peppers. He's a big deal in that industry, and so we want to learn more about that. So he's going to be kind of more of a regular on the show. We're going to be doing more pepper stuff. I think that's going to be fun. So he's going to come in. We're going to talk about where we're going to go from that. Mariah LaChapelle, she's going to be here. I talked to her because we did yesterday the Xeritol and the Sanidate video about those things. I didn't know a lot about it. She does, and a lot of people were asking, what the heck's the deal? We need more information. So she's going to come in as soon as she can. I'm not sure exactly when that'll be, but she'll find some time next week and come on in. So that's that. That's what's going on next week. So watch the interview, and I love you, and I'll see you next week. Have fun. Well, all right then. Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. We're talking with Newton Hayes from South Cascade Organics. They make SLF 100. Holy crud, it's amazing. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
That wasn't much of an intro. I feel weird. So, this is my favorite question to ask anybody. My favorite question. How did you get started with this? What happened? What got you here?
How did I get started? Well, I was working lame jobs. Just going from job to job.
What kind of stuff? What jobs? Tell us.
Oh my gosh. I worked for UPS, Albertsons, Bank of America. I worked as an electrician for a year. I actually enjoyed that. But
a rich tapestry of different jobs. So do you feel like you were like just putting your time in, or did you feel like you were I couldn't find what I was doing? Did you have some feeling about growing plants and things like that from being a kid, or when did it start?
I was city grown. We moved into a actual house when I was in my teen years, and we had a backyard, and I started actually growing plants back there, and that's where that passion came from. And I always kind of thought back to that, going from job to job and just being bored out of my mind. Really wanting to get into just self-sustaining, just growing for myself. What I feel we were just designed for. Growing our own food. We always have bills to pay, unfortunately, but
do something. But so you felt like from a kid. I mean, how did you? Were there gardeners in your family, or what did you just walked out there? I'm going to grow a garden at 13 years old.
I did. We didn't have anybody growing in our house. My dad worked for a nuclear power plant, and my mom worked for a school district, and I rarely ever saw them. So yeah, I went from there to just bouncing around from job to job to finally I got really sick with Crohn's disease, and I couldn't hold a job actually. Had my colon was or intestines were just leaking out into my body.
Oh my goodness!
And I couldn't hold a job, so I actually got on disability, and I started farming at that point in time, and realizing that something wasn't right internally, and that I needed to change that. And I didn't care what. I was about $400 a month maybe I made off of farming, but
you felt like that might be the answer. That might be where the you thought maybe it was your food that was causing. Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense. It's your digestive tract, and so you felt like that you didn't know what was wrong, but that you may find it through this or something like that.
Absolutely. There was a small time in my life when I was sick that I realized I started eating really well just for a short time. It didn't last very long, and I remember at that point my intestines weren't really leaking.
So you were feeling better.
I was feeling better, and then I went back to eating just the sugar-based American diet.
So when you were eating good, what were you eating?
Veggies. Veggies and fruit.
And vegetarian, or would you eat meat still?
No, I would eat meat still. I wasn't religious in diet. I just was eating whole foods and healthy foods. And I think that was the beginnings of my healing from Crohn's disease, was just getting into eating right. Actually working at that farm, I would just pick food there and eat it with dirt all over it, and knew that there was a relationship between the food I was eating, the amount of antiseptic or antibiotics that we use in general,
just not having all that stuff they need to do to make it like they make it. I guess, it's there's so much disease because they grow it with such crappy inputs that they have to do all these things to keep it from just falling apart. Yeah. And so you were just a whole, like a natural type food, just old school, and that you started feeling better. And then why'd you go back to the other? What happened?
Started feeling better. I just was addicted to sugar.
Grabbed you back. Yeah, I know.
Sugar.
Yeah.
I can't eat sugar. I stopped several years ago. I don't eat sugar. I'll still eat breads, that have sugar, but nothing high in processed sugar.
I gotcha.
And I don't. The holes in my intestines closed up. 2012, while I was still farming. Actually, I wasn't farming anymore. I just started SLF, and there was a lot of stress with the business. And my intestines exploded in 2012. And I lost 22 centimeters of my small intestines. So
you had to get right.
Yeah.
you were gonna. It was gonna kill you.
Get rid of that scar tissue that was in there. That was really where most of the pain was.
Oh, so this is the area that had been damaged from all this time, and when that was removed, then you had a chance to get back to start over a little bit.
Started over, basically, yeah. I don't have pain anymore. I don't eat sugar, so the other holes that were in my intestines are no longer leaking. Inflammation caused through sugar is insane. Your body knows that there's something wrong. There's a relationship in Crohn's disease between, they think bacteria. I don't really think that it's bacteria. I think it's really mainly due to overgrowth of candida. They like to correlate E. coli with it. I really think the E. coli is there for a purpose. But they also relate candida with Crohn's disease, and I think that's really all it is. It's just an overgrowth of candida. So the loss of sugar, the holes closed up, the inflammation left, and I was able to actually eat like a normal human being. I used to weigh like 140 pounds. I finally weigh like 160 now. So it was a big difference. So in all of this, it always goes back to bacteria and enzymes. And SLF was just
So how did that come about with you starting with SLF?
So SLF is just through farming and through family. Actually, my family creates SLF. I didn't create SLF, but it is a super huge passion of mine, and everything about SLF is exactly where I've been and where I've come from. Yeah.
So what was it? How the company, did it start off with just you doing this thing, or what? How did you start the South Cascade Organics with doing this?
There was remediation efforts with SLF for the longest time.
So it wasn't a plant growing thing. It was something.
It was. I mean, they were trying to at the time, remediate lands that have been infected with either salts or arsenic from overuse of pesticides. And there were just so many political hurdles and issues getting it into big ag that it was virtually impossible. They were just losing tons of money trying to get a product into big ag that would actually heal land. It's impossible.
They're not interested in that.
Not interested. There's too many politics, too many lobbyists involved in big ag.
So it kind of feels like to me that we started off on the East Coast and just basically destroyed our soil all the way across the country till we ran out of country.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of what's going on. So let me ask you a big picture thing. Do you think there's hope that organic practices and these sorts of things will ultimately save our soil and our air and our water? That's a doable thing, that we're at a point where, I mean, is that something that could happen?
Absolutely, and it's been proven, I mean, through the use of organic methods, that these things can be remediated quickly. But it really has to do a lot with the lobbyists and the politicians that we have right now that just don't really care about how their food is grown, or maybe they care about the way their food is grown, but they don't care about the way our food is grown. But I think it's definitely catching on with the younger generation. It may take a generation before we actually start utilizing a lot of these methods.
It seems like that the cannabis community is kind of an entree to taking it everywhere else a little bit. Like that they're maybe more open to different methods. I had Dr. Robert Faust was here, and he said that the farmers, they don't want their neighbor to know how they're farming because they don't want the competition, and so that really it was very hard for any innovation to happen because there was no openness to it. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like there's a lot of kids that want to grow their 4 plants or whatever, and that they do that, and then after a while they're like, I don't want to eat this lettuce I got from the store.
Yeah,
and it kind of
I don't want to eat this lettuce that you grew.
Yeah.
Miracle Grow.
So you feel optimistic about the future?
Absolutely. If we decide to purchase locally and food that's in season, very important. I am optimistic about it, but it really is up to us to actually decide to support local. Everybody complains about price. How much are you worth?
Yeah, which is your life worth that you're throwing away. I think too, I've noticed that you don't, when you eat badly, and I eat badly all the time, is that you don't feel as good as you do when you don't. And it's funny because I know I know I feel better, then I know I feel worse, yet it's you're like you said, it's addictive almost with sugars and things like that your body wants something that's killing it. It's like they found the best way to trick your body into.
Well, actually, the candida is tricking your body. It's actually controlling your thoughts and your emotions, and sugar eating is an emotional thing.
Oh, absolutely. You had a bad day.
It's crazy how much it's driven by your microbiome, what you want to consume.
Wow.
It's insane.
So systemically, as a person, how do you? Was it willpower? How do you get past that?
No, it's splitting your gut in half. I had to. I don't think if I had to, I don't know if I would have made the same decisions. Maybe not as fast. I'd like to say that I'm better than everybody else, but I love sugar. And I don't think I would have made the decisions, but I split my gut. I mean, my intestines were leaking into my body, causing abscesses, and
oh my goodness,
this was a 10-year process of abscesses that were excruciating, and it was gnarly.
Wow.
So stopping was pretty easy for me. Hell or no sugar.
Yeah, we can't all be so lucky instead of leaking intestines though. So.
And I hope nobody ever has to deal with it. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting.
Wow. Well, this is pretty cool. This is like one of those deep interview things. Like you actually told me something. I'm excited.
I really live what SLF stands for, and that is healthy, balanced environments. I'd like to suggest to everybody that your best probiotic is just plants. So plants contain bacteria within their living tissue. So eating raw foods is your best way into a healthy gut.
Wow. I think we should just end it right there. Good. Very cool. Thanks, Newton.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah. For more information about anything on today's show, go to our website, OCGFAM.com. This one's for you, Captain Kindbud. The OCGFAM show, it's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCGFAM show. See you on Monday.